I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may join me if you like. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? When Pamela called me 3 weeks ago to catch up, we try to catch up every couple of years, and when she called me a few weeks ago to catch up, she, during the course of that conversation, informed me that she was about to be installed as the president of the Peabody Lyons Club. Oh, that's awesome. And immediately I said, you can help me with a cause that I've sort of taken on over the course of the past few years. And that cause is, there is a phrase that we need to eliminate, that we need to vanquish completely from the English language. I just used the word vanquish. Can you tell I'm rereading the Harry Potter series? That phrase that needs to be eliminated is visually impaired. Now, I don't want to get overly PC, and I don't want to spend too much time on my soapbox. But the reason that I need for this term to be eliminated is because it's wrong. Now, a lot of people will argue, yeah, but blind, very harsh. I know, but it gets the point across. Besides which, it's one syllable. Visually impaired, that's 6 syllables. My name has fewer, Zammarelli has fewer syllables than that. I can't get the children that I teach, nor the colleagues with whom I teach, to call me Zammarelli. Everybody calls me Mr. Z. Why? Because our attention spans are so short these days. I get it. But why is this so important to me? Let me explain the difference. First of all, as I said, it's wrong. Vision and sight have nothing to do with one another. And the first thing that we need to do is look at the phrases that are associated with it and decide which one you would rather have. Would you rather have a line of sight or a field of vision? Call me crazy, but I'll take a field over a line any day. A field of vision. And to illustrate this a little bit, and to talk a little bit about my experiences, I'm going to use some of you. Last night I had dinner with Pamela. Now, one of the nice things about catching up with Pamela and talking on the phone or having a meal is you don't have to do anything. You just have to sit and listen. Because she will carry the entire conversation. Anybody ever notice that? Okay? So you can just kind of relax. Every once in a while you have to chime in so she knows you're still paying attention. But you just have to sit and listen. You know what we talked about over dinner last night? You. That's what we talked about. And I see here tonight that you have enormous vision. I got to sit at the same table with Megan and Alex, and I can tell you that that is money well spent, those 2 scholarships. They're going to do great things. And just by that decision alone, you have exercised enormous vision. But she also talked about some of you. And she talked about how at a time when you really needed members, it was Jen Buchanan who brought in many quality members at a time when you really needed it. And she talked about Steve Calhoun and how he's been a Lion for 40 years. Nobody would begrudge him the right to step down and take it easy. But Pamela asked him to come back, and he did because he saw the potential of Pamela's administration. That's vision. And I can tell you because I got the early version of Pamela. When it was decided that I was going home to Coventry, and it wasn't just for 1 year, by the way, it was my last 3 years of high school. So here I was, having been at Perkins since 1974, and so by the time 1983 rolled around, I spent what was then over half my life in a place where just about everybody had a sight impairment. Notice they weren't vision impairments, they were sight impairments. And the last 2 years were the 2 years that I had Pamela. The 1982-83 school year was, to this day, the most difficult year of my life. Not only did I have work from not one, but 2 schools, Watertown High School and Perkins, to deal with. But it was also discovered that year that what limited amount of eyesight I had was disappearing. All of that, and I was faced with having to leave a place that had become home. Pamela navigated it with the skill of someone who had been teaching for many, many years. Back then, I didn't know that she was such a new teacher. You would not have known it then either, had you known her as I did then. She did such a wonderful job in knowing when to push and when to back off. She is one of the best examples of vision I know. It takes enormous vision to be totally sighted and develop and devote your entire life to those without sight or with limited sight. Not everyone possesses Pamela's vision. In 1992, I applied to and was accepted to the New England Conservatory of Music, but I was not accepted as a music ed major, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to teach. I was accepted as a performance major. Why? The chairperson of the music education department at the New England Conservatory of Music said to me, and this is an exact quote, "We would not feel comfortable certifying someone with your special needs." As far as I know, he had very good eyesight, but absolutely no vision. You'll be happy to know that to the best of my knowledge, the New England Conservatory of Music no longer has a music education program. Somehow, that seems to me to be a bit of poetic justice. And so, here's somebody like Pamela, who spends countless hours educating the limited sighted and the sightless. And with me, we couldn't have known back then that she was preparing me for a career educating the sighted. It's wonderful, beautiful, circular irony. That's vision. And I'm so proud to say that she was my teacher. And I've tried to be the kind of teacher that she has been. Just today, I had lunch with a former student. Teachers carry it through from generation to generation. And even in Pamela's retirement as a teacher, she still is doing it the right way. And when we had dinner last night, I love this. I love what she said. She said, "This is my town. I live in Lynn, but Peabody is my town." I've never heard anybody speak with so much love for a town and its people and for this chapter of the Lyons Club. It's inspiring. You are lucky to have her, it's true. But she's also very, very fortunate to have all of you. And speaking of good fortune, it has been my good fortune to be with you here this evening. And I thank you.